last Wednesday on Weekly Wednesday Updates.
Do you remember when I said that we have a section of the collection that's been neglected that we will definitely be starting on in this episode? Well, check this out. What you got?
Surprises.
Surprises, a rusty pole, some old fence. All right, so the goal with all this is to make this into the Silent Hill corner. And it won't just have Silent Hill stuff because there will be other like video game, horror related stuff like The Last of Us. But I just always thought of how perfect this rusty wall was for an underworldly feel. And I've had my nurse here since we got this nurse complete. And I got some other Silent Hill stuff right here. But this stuff always looked super plain, so I wanted to find a way to make this look underworldly. So what we're gonna do is use this fence to decorate this wall, and then we're gonna put up some cool like red gross lighting. We'll get everything resituated over here, and it should be pretty dope by the end of this. And maybe one day we'll have a red pyramid thing, aka Pyramid Head, life-size build over here in the corner as well. All right, so I think the goal here is to cut this in half this way, do one section right there on the bottom, use the rusty pole to make like a seam cover to make this look seamless or like it's supposed to be there. That way the fences aren't overlapping, and then take another half and do an upper section. So it'll be like fence, pole, fence. I think that should look pretty decent. So we'll see what happens. This looks good though. Man, just a couple more inches would be perfect.
Right.
And I've heard that my whole life. All right, guys, unfortunately, this piece of the fence is not only a little too short, it's like 5 or 6 inches too short, but there's also this big gash. So it's not the nicest piece of fence, which is funny because we want the fence to be rusty and gross, but being ripped apart is not really the look that I'm going for. So this is all we got done for right now. And I think I'm actually going to cut the episode off right here because not only does this give you a good idea as to where we're going, but I think it's a good stopping point and it'll give you something to look forward to in the next episode. We are currently scouting for more rusty underworld style fence. This was just something that my dad had that we thought would fit this wall, and we were pretty close, but no cigar. So yeah, we're going to stop right here and we're going to come back in the next episode and have this whole section finished out. I'm really excited for this. This is a section of the House of Masks and a subject matter of the House of Masks that I have wanted to do basically since we got the building. So to finally see that coming to fruition is really cool.
And now, the latest Weekly Wednesday Update.
As you can possibly be at service, plus he buys humongous waves too.
What are you doing?
I'm fighting it.
I'll fight you.
I think we're scouter this time, buddy.
This is a lesson to all you kids out there. If it doesn't fit, force it.
That is frustrating.
Top of each one of them to set them.
I can't believe a single thing didn't just fall over. All the collectibles and shit we got in there.
Finally covering that
The DVDs, nothing fell. All right, we went ahead and catty cornered that glass shelf. I think it looks a lot better. And we still have room for more. So we'll figure it out. Now we need to kind of figure out the lighting. I want to do some red otherworld lighting over here, so that'll be next. That's that bulb.
A brighter one.
Yeah. Much better. All right, so I was pretty content with how the layout was once we got the fence up, but then I was like, man, this needs something else. Let's do some lighting. We'll do some nice red lighting to make it look very Silent Hill 2-esque, otherworldly. And then we put everything where it needed to be, got the lighting done, all that good shit, and I was like, man, I have another good idea. And I was looking at my little figures here, and I was looking at the busted up tile, and it was making me think of the floor that's actually in Silent Hill 2, and I was like, man, why don't we just tile out this section, bring it out to a certain point, and then start doing like a jagged edge with some broken pieces, make the floor look all gross and gnarly, and then this could just be its own closed-in Silent Hill section. We can rope this off so that people can't get to it, and it'll just bring a complete new life to this already newly lifed area. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. All I'm saying is we're throwing some tile down, we're gonna make it look gnarly, and it's gonna look super fucking cool, and I'm excited. To make the shape, we can do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm all new to this. This is good times.
The next day.
All right, guys, we are in the home stretch, finally almost finished, and I say finished in quotation marks because something like this will probably never actually be truly finished. There will always be something that I'll want to change or some way to up the quality or items to add to the collection, and my Silent Hill collection is still pretty small, so there is a good chance that over the next few years this will look completely different than it does right now. There are still tons of figures I want to add. There are always different variations of certain games that I'm going to want to add, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I obviously want a life-size pyramid head. But for right now, we are pretty much just about done with this little section. I'm going to be adding a few more details and textures to the floor. We've got to move the nurse back over into here, and that will pretty much be that for right now. I didn't film as much of the process as I wanted to because it was very, very aggravating. We have been working on this for about 4 4 days now, here and there throughout me filming other videos and editing other videos. This was just kind of like a back burner project, but when it came time to actually work on it every day, it seemed like if something could go wrong, it would go wrong. We had bad luck with everything from the tiles to the light bulbs. I mean, how do you screw up getting red light bulbs? I don't know, but for some reason we would get some and they just wouldn't work. The reddest of the red light bulb with the highest wattage would still just look pink, and I don't understand it, but that's my luck. We fought through it and we finally got to where we are now, so aside from adding a few details, getting the nurse in here, and then just doing a general cleanup around the area, we are pretty much done. So let's move on to those details and get this thing wrapped up. Alright, so before we clean up and head out, I did just want to show you guys that I still have a few shards of this tile that I haven't quite decided on yet, so I'm probably going to take these out for right now and just set them to the side, maybe put them in a box and take them downstairs. But look, you can always add more to this, just a little bit more detail, although I think not having them here leaves a nice little kind of natural edge, which was the original shape that we went with anyways. So for right now, it's going to kind of look like that, which looks cool in my opinion. For right now, we are going to go grab those other details, and the 2 details that I want to add to this floor area are going to be bricks and paint chips. So basically what we are doing here in this little nook at the building is combining my interpretations of Silent Hill 2 the game and Silent Hill 1 the movie. I am bringing you guys how I feel when I see those scenes and just trying to kind of replicate that to a certain extent to give you guys a very Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 1 the movie atmosphere and piece of scenery here. And one thing that I've noticed in both the game and in the movie is that there are paint chips and bricks. So right now we're going to be taking a walk to a very historic alley that's about a block away from the building and grabbing some of Chillicothe's own old bricks, and I'm just going to be kind of setting them around as I see fit. Maybe eventually I'll find some sort of lead pipe like the nurse has, and we can set that in here too. And then downstairs, since this building is so old, there is a plethora of paint chips that are just crackling right off the wall. That's about as real and natural as it gets. So I'll be collecting some of those, sprinkling them around, and then finally we can grab the nurse out of the mask room here, get her set in her corner, and we will be all good to go. I really can't wait to see all of this together. I'm still actively stepping on these busted up tiles. But yeah, we're gonna get all that taken care of, get everything cleaned up, and have a nice, good look at the new section. I am excited. I hope that you guys are excited too. Now, let's go grab these bricks. Yet another perfect day in downtown Chillicothe. I definitely could not imagine wanting to be anywhere else because this place is heaven. Jackpot, baby. The absolute final finishing touch for right now, some perma-blood drops because Silent Hill would not be Silent Hill without blood. That is a wrap. for now anyways, because as I mentioned earlier, there is always going to be something else to add or something to upgrade, but for right now, we are finished. And before I give you guys some nice close-up hero shots of this, or we turn the lights off and I show you everything in the red light, I want to go ahead and talk about something that I'm already thinking about altering in this space. This wall right to my left is extremely bare and very boring, and my first thought was maybe I can get like some Silent Hill art and hang it up there. There's that really infamous Silent Hill 2 picture that you find right before you enter the prison. I think you're in like the historical society, and you see this really weird painting of a pyramid head with a couple victims behind him. But then I was like, you know what? Why would we stop with the tile and the bricks and the rusty wall and the chain link fence when we could do something like that on this wall as well? And you know what is synonymous with Silent Hill? Prison bars and barbed wire. So as soon as I can figure out how I'm going to track down some prison bars, we will get a prison bar and a barbed wire section over here. And I think that that is going to be pretty cool. This is going to be a great photo op area for the House of Masks when we do things like the open house and Pale Fest. And it's also just nice to see like my own life-size diorama of one of my favorite horror video game franchises ever. And that's what I truly like about this. Like, looking at it as if you're in there is one thing, but stepping back and looking at it as if I just took a chunk right out of the movie or out of the video game is something else. I've always had a thing for like aquariums that look like they came straight out of a piece of nature, or model railroad layouts that look extremely well done, very detailed, they look real. So to do that with a horror movie scene or a horror video game scene is something very special to me, and I can't say that I had a lot of fun putting this together because it was very, very irritating, a lot of trial and error and a lot of things going wrong that probably shouldn't have gone wrong. But now that it's done and I can sit back and look at it, I am pretty excited. So with all of that out of the way, let's go ahead and close this video out with some nice up-close shots of this entire thing, and some nice overview shots as well, so that you guys can see all of the beautiful, beautiful detail. I'm really proud of this one, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, go ahead and leave me a like down below, because that definitely helps the channel. And if you're feeling really spicy, go ahead and drop a comment as well. I'll even make the comment part easy for you. What is your favorite Silent Hill video game? Let me know down below. Obviously, I gotta go with 2, but I'm looking forward to seeing your guys' answers as well. And with all of that out of the way, this has been AJ Good here at the House of Masks, telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol and yes to Silent Hill. And we'll see you guys in the next one.